Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. We're discussing about the mood of worshipping Lakshmi. Since during the Diwali everybody celebrates LAXMI PUJA. So therefore, her presence and her contribution in people's life is immense. Therefore, the word Lakshmi has been defined in the Sanskrit literature. Laksha iti Lakshmi. What does it mean? Very interesting. It comes from the dhatu word Lakshmi. That means to see and contemplate. What does he contemplate upon? Whom does he contemplate upon? One contemplation is purely connected to her connection to Lord Narayan. Another connection is to her contemplation over the conditioned soul. जो चिंतन करती है, जो लक्ष्य देती है, वो लक्ष्मी है. Whenever her glance is upon the living entity to create an integrated prosperity, such action, because generally the person is defined by their disposition and their character. Vyakti or Vyaktitva. The word Vyakti comes from Vyaktitva only. Vyaktitva means their nature, their disposition, their traits, their psychological reality. Right? So that is how you are defining a person, by their name. So Lakshmi, it is not simply namesake. The word Lakshmi means connected to contemplation, chintan, or giving her vision. And the second one is Anapagamini. Another name for Lakshmi Devi is Anapagamini. Now what does Anapagamini means? Anapagamini means one who does not run away. Oh, bhakti nahi hai, she doesn't run away. And whom does she not run away from? She does not run away from the sadhaka. Those who have read the book Mani and Mahabharata, therein we have discussed the discussion between Rukmini Devi and Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi was asked by Rukmini, where do you reside? Kahan rehte ho? Kahan nivas karte ho? And one of the principal Lakshmi had spoken that I reside in those places with those people who are basically enterprising. Now, word sadhaka does not only denote with spiritual practices. The word sadhana can be used for everything where there is a consistency of practice. If somebody is going for a cricket coaching, working for many hours, like somebody was mentioning, what is the difference between Messi and Ronaldo? He said Ronaldo is a sadhaka and Messi is basically focuses on the talent more than hard work like Ronaldo. Right? So he is also called as sadhaka. So Lakshmi's point of view is very clear on a pratyaksha pramana, on the reality of this world. Those who are enterprising, daring, hardworking, smart, these are the people become successful. You cannot say, but he is not a good person. That's a different subject matter. Here we are talking about what makes you successful in regards to collecting the resources. Simply being good does not matter. The good basically is beneficial in regards to how to use the smart collected resources. So therefore, one who does not run away. Of course, the deeper meaning of this also means, without cancelling what we discussed, that she does not run away from Lord Narayan. So wherever Lord Narayan resides, there Lakshmi becomes stable. She does not go away. Now, this is not simply a spiritual principle, right? Lakshmi herself spoke this to Rukmini, because she speaks about certain principle of how to make wealth, how to maintain wealth, how to grow wealth, and how to sustain wealth for longer time. The sustenance of wealth has nothing to do with making money, because those who make money not necessarily maintain money. They earn and they lose, they earn and they lose, they earn and they lose. Right? So here, Mother Lakshmi told Rukmini Devi, I become stable. मैं स्थिर बन जाती हूँ. I become immovable. Where do I become immovable? Wherever there is connection to Lord Narayan, wherever there is connection to Dharma, there the wealth is sustained for longer time. Generation after generation, generation after generation. Why? There is a substantial reality of inner connection. Right? So therefore she doesn't go away. So two things we understand. One, you have to be sadhaka to make money, to grow money. And second, you have to be connected to Lord Narayan so that Lakshmi stays longer, because nobody wants Lakshmi to stay for short period of time. Another one, the Upanishad, in one sense, the Brihadaranyaka, the Taittiriya Upanishad in Shikshavali explains about Matra Devo Bhava. The word Matra Devo Bhava sometimes is used for, and for the right reason also. Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. Right? Or in the Manu Samhita it is explained, Yatra Nari na Pujyanti. जहां यत्र नारी पूजंती, जहां जहां नारी की पूजा होती है, वहां वहां समृद्धि की निवास होगी. Wherever women are respected, there the prosperity resides. Right? So here the great teachers have said Matra Devo Bhava also denotes to the original mother, Jagan Mata. Lakshmi being Jagan Mata, जब उसकी पूजा होती है, as I said, without denying this reality also, when that Lakshmi is worshipped, that mother is worshipped, तो धन समृद्धि, धन संतान, विद्या, वीरता भर भर के आ जाती. But again, as we are discussing, whatever we are discussing, nothing is cancelled. Sadhana has to be there. Worship has to be there. Now, for earning money, you need to be a sadhaka. To growing money, you have to be a smart person. But to sustaining money, you have to be connected to Lord Narayan, because she stays wherever Lord Narayan resides for a longer time. So therefore, if you study the Protestant ethics in the Christian Western world, one of the Protestant theologian who basically, in one sense, one of the original thinker about the capitalism. How capitalism is different from what we are discussing from the Indian thought process. Here Lakshmi is directly connected, directly or indirectly connected to the concept of, Bhagya Lakshmi. वहां एक देवी, वहां एक भगवान की पत्नी का स्मरण हो जाता है. When you think the name धन, लक्ष्मी आ जाती है. So there is an inherent character of sensitivity in regards to earning wealth. If you see Lakshmi as a commodity, if you see Lakshmi as an exchangeable system, then that very Lakshmi where Shishupal tried to kidnap, where Ravan tried to kidnap, what does it do? It has the power to destroy Ravana's Lanka. It has the power to destroy Shishupal's good sleep, and those who protected him, Rukmi, right? Rukmi had to abandon his own birthplace. He could never go back. So there is the Protestant theologian John Calvin emphasizes, what is it? Hard work. Hard work, enterprising sadhana is very important for making prosperity. Second is self-denial. If you study the story, it is not empowering. People who get empowered, their number is very less. The number of people who work is much larger than those who own the prosperity. So self-denial basically creates large corporations, large institutions, large organization, powerful government institutions, where they will tell you, do not ask what country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country. This sounds very inspirational, but there is a deception in this that we will discuss when we study Lakshmi. Okay, there is a self-denial. When you deny the self, you become a slave. Right? You become a slave. So whom are you working for? You are not working for yourself. You are working for something bigger. And then patience, honesty, and duty. All these qualities were there in Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, and Kripacharya. Hard work, self-denial, patience, honesty, and duty. You know what happened? When you have such people as you are loyal, then Duryodhan becomes extremely happy. Duryodhan, like capitalistic people, they always look for people who are extremely transparent, so that their growth is unstoppable. Their growth is unstoppable. So therefore, the capitalism creates more workers, less owners. On the other hand, if you study the Lakshmi's theology, the theology of Lakshmi is very simple here. We discuss. Lakshmi means what? Hard work is there, enterprising is there, everything is there. But she defines that whenever she glances, wherever she glances, she's thinking about empowering and helping you to grow. Right? It could be much less than compared to very wealthy person, but there is a contentment, there is a fulfillment. The capitalism gives rise to success. It is the prominence in capitalism to be successful. Fulfillment is there, but less important given to fulfillment. In the process of Lakshmi Devi, success is there. Very much success is there. Hard work is there. Patience is there. Duty is there. But there is an empowerment. And because of that empowerment, along with the success, there is a fulfillment. Right? In the Indian Vedic Jyotish Shastra, Shukra defines whether Shukra is a capitalist or Shukra is representing Lakshmi Devi. It's very interesting. On Friday, people kind of use time and, kind of glorify Shukracharya because it's smart, right? But also it is recommended to increase your wealth to worship Lakshmi. देवी की पूजा करनी होती, तो क्या होगा? Enterprising has the sensitivity of empowering people, and therefore, whether it was a cobbler, whether it was a barber, or it was a blacksmith, or it was a goldsmith, or it was a tailor or a carpenter, these people, they were not as successful from the modern perspective compared to some of the richest wealthy merchants, but their success was defined with their fulfillment, samadhanata. They would work 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, right? So they would be successful because they're working hard. But the goal of that success was experiencing fulfillment. ये लक्ष्मी देती है. एक capitalism आपको देगा नहीं इसको. Capitalism will never provide this, right? So very important to understand, what they made, what constitute capitalism. Capitalism constitutes loyal to the master rather than empowering by the master of their subordinate. कैपिटलिज्म में लोगों की संख्या नौकर बनने की बढ़ती है, और लक्ष्मी के दृष्टिकोण से नौकर लोगों की संख्या कम होगी और मालिकों की संख्या ज्यादा होगी. The entrepreneur will be higher in number compared to workers. It's an important principle to understand. And if you have this understanding, then what does the scripture explain? Like Chanakya and Arthashastra explains, Arteshanana Vasaneshu Ganyate. The desire to increase wealth, kingship, and friendship should not be considered as an addiction. Why we call Facebook friends is an addiction? Because they do not substantially exist for you. They don't substantially exist for you. They exist in a virtual reality, right? So that can be called as vasana. That can be called as an addiction. But here, the leader, one who is leading, it could be a, ghar ke swami. It could be the ruler. It could be the, some people who are involved in it. So their desire to increase wealth, kingship, and friendship should not be considered as addiction by Chanakya Pandit. Yes, there is a role for Dhanam Sundari, and there is a role for Dhanam Dehi, Janam Dehi, Artham Dehi. Are they contradictory to each other? Yes, they're contradictory each other depending upon where are you. Come to a personal relationship with God. भगवान के साथ में जब पर्सनल संबंध के लिए आते हो, then there is no need to ask. I want friendship. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj, right? When Krishna came and met Yudhishthir in the forest, offering all the resources. Of course, Krishna did not directly offer. Balramji offered and Satyaki offered. Well, what is the point in living in the forest, Yudhishthir? He said, you come and stay. Once the 12, 13 years are over, you go back. Yudhishthir said, no. He said, I cannot accept it. मैं खुद कमाऊंगा. I will earn my wealth, my dear Balramji. And Krishna looks at Balramji and says, I told you. Do you see that? Did Yudhishthira Maharaj reject Krishna's kindness? No, he made Krishna proud. Same thing with Arjun. When Arjun was asked by Krishna, what do you want? You want the army or do you want me? क्या चाहिए आपको? So Arjuna said, I want you, Krishna, not the resources. Because I've collected all the resources. मुझे इन वस्तुओं की आवश्यकता नहीं है, मेरे को, मुझे आप चाहिए. So that does not mean that he did not have the resources. He had the resources, but he wanted Krishna to guide. Right? So therefore, the desire to increase wealth, kingship, and friendship for a leader and one who's taking the leadership position is not an addiction. And it will not become an addiction if you also have the connection. You know, then that Lakshmi, just like Anapagamini, she doesn't run away, she stays. Right? Therefore, we see the Vedic literature talks about isolated growth and integrated growth. We have discussed this in the book Money and Mahabharata also. Adi Lakshmi. Then there is a Dhana Lakshmi, Dhana Lakshmi. Then why they have talked about Dhanya Lakshmi also? धन से तो धान्य आ जाता है ना. अरे कैसे क्वालिटी मिलता है? What kind of quality are you getting? So this Lakshmi, one who is Adi Lakshmi, one who is giving you wealth, she also promises you abundant food grain which has the substance in it. It is not that it looks like a grain, but it doesn't have the substance of dhanya. Then there is a Gajalakshmi, vehicle, facility to move from one place to another place. Very important, transportation. You know, a country, if you want to become larger, you know, farmer may grow a lot of things, but if he's not able to sell, then what happens? The growth and the transformation, because there is transportation is not complete, then that creates a lot of loss. Therefore, Hati, Ghode, Palki, the traders would go around in so many places. You know, Marco Polo explains that India, 50,000 ships were plying from one direction to another direction. That is Gadai Lakshmi. And then it's so brilliant, Santana Lakshmi. Why Santana Lakshmi? Santana Lakshmi is because you want a legacy to continue. Then there is Vidya Lakshmi, then there is Vijay Lakshmi, then there is a Veera Lakshmi. Resources without power makes you lose everything. And therefore, what do we see? We see in the Indian system, there are three things: Raksha, Palana, and Yogakshema. Raksha is there, Palana is there, and Yogakshema is there. Protection is required, maintenance is required, and Yogakshema, higher nourishment is required. And that is the role of a leader, to provide this. And therefore our rishis, since time and immemorial, not that it is a recent past, they conceived the concept of Vidya, Durga, protection, and Samriddhi. There is Saraswati, there is Parvati, and there is Lakshmi. You cannot separate them from each other. Right? Wealth without Vidya is very destructive. And we see that. You know, when Risudha are there without Vidya, Vidura explains, जहापति है वहां मांस और मद्यपान का अहंकार चढ़ जाता है. Right? The greatest tragedy amongst the, you know, the followers of Sanatana Dharma, when they follow it unscientifically, illogically, as it is said, अपने ही पैर पर कुराड़ी मार लेते हैं विद्या न होने के कारण. Resources है, they have a resources, and with that resource they purchase the power. When the resources give rise to power, not vidya, it gives rise to blindness. Like the priest, they invite the nice priest to perform the marriage ceremony. In the very marriage ceremony, there is limitless liquor distribution, मद्यपान, और जहां मद्यपान और मांस का वितरण हो जाता है वहां अहंकार की प्रगति, अहंकार बढ़ने लगता है. And similarly, if there is a vidya without shakti and resources, in our Vidu Niti we were explaining, there are different qualities which are very prominent for people to become famous. But what does he say? One of the most important quality Vidura say, Rajya में राजा की मान्यता. If the king has put his eyes on you, he is looking at you, that means that is the greater influencing quality. Therefore, Vidya, Shakti and Samriddhi, they are not at loggerheads. They are not fighting against each other. Rather, they are working in such a way, Vidya, Shakti and resources, when they are integrated, it creates a great power. And therefore, when a student would go to Gurukul, I just very fascinated by this concept. When they went to the Gurukul, the Guru would focus on giving Vidya to the student. Now, Chanakya Pandit wrote a book on Arthashastra, finances. But how much wealth he had? Absolutely nothing. But with his education, he created people with lots of wealth. So his purpose of education is to make sufficiently powerful people who can contribute. So one may say Chanakya did not have the wealth, but he had many people who had the wealth. खुद के पास संपत्ति नहीं थी, लेकिन संपत्ति वालों को बनाए उन्होंने. So there was no isolation, there was no separation between wealth and vidya, right? इसलिए अर्थशास्त्र पढ़ा. When there is a separation between vidya and artha, what does it do? It creates a great burden in the person who is educated without having samriddhi or shakti. And therefore, in the deep core of our heart, we should contemplate on Vidya, we contemplate on Durga, and we should contemplate on Lakshmi. Because when we have these three things, then the protection, maintenance, and positive stability become limitlessly possible. Huh? Therefore, it is explained that when we study this quality, therefore our Chanakya Pandit, one of the most powerful sutras, what is that? Dharmasya moolam artah. धर्म को सस्टेनेबल बनने के लिए, dharma to progress, dharma to assert, what you require? Dharmasya moolam artah, the root of good governance, the root of prosperity, the root of dharma lies with artha, prosperity के साथ में जुड़ा हुआ है. So you cannot separate artha from dharma, you cannot separate dharma from artha. When they're integrated, they have a great power to contribute and grow for long legacy. और जहां जहां ये कुछ होता नहीं है, and people are expecting some miracle to happen, no, there is a wrong in strategy. आपके strategy में गलत है. And because there is a faulty strategy, however much you pray, the Supreme Lord is saying, Are Baba, fix this. It is very easy. Right? When you don't fix it, what does it do? It invites it invites Daridra Lakshmi in our hand. And what does Daridra Lakshmi do? Daridra Lakshmi basically takes away everything from. And therefore, in the Sri Shukta mantras, sometime we can take the Sri Shukta, which is one of the most profound sutras in glorification of Mother Lakshmi. There is Purusha Shukta and there is a Sri Shukta. They are interconnected with each other. So when that enterprising, being sadhaka, being protecting, worshipping Mother Lakshmi, it has the greater power of resourcing, making money, growing money, maintaining money, enjoying money, and also stabilizing wealth. And those who stabilize wealth in a proper way, they have the courage to share with others. They have the magnanimity to give it to others. They have a brilliant mindset to give others. And when they keep on giving to others as they're growing their money, they're basically increasing their Shakti. अपने शक्ति को बढ़ा रहे हैं, अपने piety को बढ़ा रहे हैं. And because they're able to do that, what does it do? It gives one advantageous position. And when the advantage position is there, the Lakshmi resides. And that's what the Pandavas did. That's what Lord Ram did. That's what Lakshman did. Along with the sentiment of worshipping Lakshmi, they have a strategy how to maintain, grow, and eventually, stay forever with such people. Therefore, on the day of Lakshmi Puja, it's coming during Diwali. If you understand this simple concept, Lakshmi, a very essence of Lakshmi is to give laksha. अपने ऊपर लक्ष्य देने वाली, चिंतन करने वाली, कॉन्टेम्पलेटन करने वाली, उसी का नाम लक्ष्मी है. अनपगामिनी, जो भागती नहीं है. If you complete the cycle of earning, before that hard working, entrepreneurship, earning, then growing, and then eventually sharing and caring with others. So when we have this, then we will have a greater connection to Mother Lakshmi, who will reside with Lord Narayan forever and ever. Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. That was very enlightening about the role of Lakshmi Devi in our life to earn money, to sustain the money, to experience fulfillment, at the same time sharing it with the world. Prabhuji, there are a lot of people who pray to Lakshmi Devi and they endeavor a lot. At the same time, they don't experience too much of wealth. Is it because of karma?
I didn't get you. Can you say once again properly?
So there are many devotees who believe in Lakshmi Devi. They pray, they endeavor. However, they fall short of wealth. Is it because of karma?
No, there is a conscious and unconscious allergy towards wealth. There is an allergy towards wealth. Oh, it can put us in a challenging situation. Why to worry? So they are praying that I want money, but they're also having this psychological issue of having a problem with wealth. And therefore, if you see socialists, if you see certain spiritualists also, they slander wealth, right? They do not put proper efforts. There is no strategy. There is a sentiment against wealth. So how do you actually get wealth like that? If you study the story of Pandavas, there was an extra conscious effort to collect wealth. Therefore, Arjuna is called as Dhananjay. So that is an important principle that one should understand, that as we quoted Chanakya Pandit, wealth collecting is not a vessel, it's not an addiction. So Your affirmation, your sankalpa is one of the responsible factor for not earning good amount of wealth. There is the daridrata of consciousness in regards to earning money. There is a lethargy. If it comes automatically on its own, they may accept it, but wealth is not supposed to come like that. There has to be strategy, there has to be smarting, there has to be sadhana. Whatever Lakshmi herself is telling, right? How to, and then there is this stupid samadhan. What is it? Oh, just to be content. Contentment is different from negligence. Fulfillment and success, they're interconnected. As I give the example of, carpenter, goldsmith, blacksmith, they're successful and contented. They're fulfilled also. Because there is a freedom, there is a innovation, there is a creativity. So therefore, that is one aspect. Karma is also there. We are not saying that karma is not there. But general understanding, as far as whatever I studied, psychology understanding, there is an inherent slander of wealth. Inherent. You may not verbally speak about it, but you kind of neglect the role of wealth in people's life.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we are also observing that children of business families, after they complete their education, they are not too inclined to doing business. They prefer to work in a big company and earn good salaries. So we're seeing a lot of people moving towards jobs rather than, building their business or starting a business.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous trend. As I said, that is how the capitalistic education is made. The capitalist education is made in such a way that less and less people will be adventurous, and more people will be working for the capitalistic organization. That is how the education is designed, right? And for some people to become, and it's a sad part, a business family sends their people to study so that they can come back and take over. But there is no taking over. There's not even coming back also. So therefore, their definition of dhan is connected to earning money. But as we said, there is dhanya, there is parivar, santan. ये सब टूटता जाता है. So there is an isolated wealth they earn by this idea. But if they continue to work in their family business, then not only the wealth will come, it may be sometime lesser than what they earn in a job, or sometime you could make more money in a business compared to what kind of job you do. But this psychology is a very dangerous trend. Even the infamous prime minister, he said, if the business communities cease to exist in India, then India cease to once and exist. Because without prosperity, no nation can have self-respect, right? And we're seeing that Sri Lanka, Pakistan, so how they're ridiculed.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, borrowing money to do business is quite normal in the present business environment. What is the Vedic perspective on this?
I mentioned this in the Money and Mahabharat book, the conversation between Narad Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj. One of the most brilliant conversation, and the same conversation is there, almost same, between Bharat and Ram. So what they talk about, the trend amongst the young generation, they're very ambitious. But again, their ambition doesn't have the strategy of protecting their capital. If you are doing business at the cost of risking everything, risk taking, is different from risking everything. If risk cannot happen without the care, it's like buying a lottery ticket, or it's like a gambling match. Doing a business while borrowing money cannot be a gambling match. Right? So therefore, Narad Muni explains, आपका जो मूल धन है, मूल धन is what? Your property. मूल धन is your gold. मूल धन is your relationships. मूल धन is some kind of money in whether it is investment, or it is cash, whatever you have. That can be taken as long as okay, I have these many things with me. But if you are sticking everything, land, gold, relationship, money, then generally such people have a greater difficulty in regrouping their business. It's a downhill trend. So therefore, Narad Muni, thousands of years ago, he gave this concept very clearly.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, what are the rituals or special puja which we should do on the day of Dhanteras?
That's whatever, according to people, different tradition they have. One thing can be done very simply. Most of the time, people have only Lakshmi. But along with that, if they have Lord Narayan also and have the right understanding of Lord Narayan, then it will be really good because it is sustainable.
Thank you, Prabhuji. There's a question by Shreya C. Radha Mataji. She says, working for the capitalist is dangerous than having own business, but even owning a big company requires workers to run effectively. So in one sense, certain section of people would be always working for somebody.
Yeah, that's what I said. That is how the capitalism operates. The operating system of capitalism is to increase the number of workers and minimize the number of the owners. Therefore, in the capital business, at some point of time, one who has the greater stake, he chases away his partner also, taking over. Or sometime if one brother or a sister is not as sharp as this person, they can engulf. And therefore, one great scholar was mentioning that when Krishna cut off the heads of what is that Rakshas, the father of Usha, right? He had thousands of hands, right? So it is explained. Banasur, thank you. Banasur was basically having too many hands. So the scholar mentioned the Banasur represents, centralized business system, like big business things. He said Krishna cut off those hands and kept only two hands. So therefore, ambition should not turn into destructive reality. So therefore, this small scale one, what's his name? One of the professor in IIM Bangalore, he's a retired professor, one of the very humorous professor. He talks about unorganized sector business in India. Hundreds of unorganized, small business. He said decentralization has a greater stability, even though it sounds a little bit, what do you call it? Little, because it is unorganized. So therefore, Chanakya Pandit, all the great minds always say, never allow the state or some human being to be so powerful that he becomes like Banasur.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. In fact, a lot of companies are encouraging co-ownership. They share ownership with their employees. This enhances the involvement of the employees and makes them feel like they are part owners in the business. Prabhuji, can we take some more questions?
Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, there is a perception that devotees of Vishnu are poorer than the devotees of Lord Shiva. They have cited an example of Sudama, who was the best friend of Krishna, but he was very poor. Your thoughts?
We have to read in the Bhagavatam. Jiva Goswami explains that there was that small trace of ahankar, in Sudama, in thinking that I am such a tapasvi, I don't need anything. So therefore, he did not consciously work for making wealth. Like there was a, I had this question to one scholar that all the rituals, the yagyas and pujas, all the pujas, who should be doing it? A student or one is already grahastha? Then he explained very nicely through Shastras that a student who is studying under a teacher, a guru, is also qualified to do, because between the education complete and getting the grahastha ashrama, there is a gap. Some people can take 3 years, some people can take 4 years, some people can take 5 years. And if this Brahmana Vipra doesn't get to do puja, how will he make money? How will he make wealth also? Therefore, the rishis have been very considerate in this regard, and with only specific yagyas, which are like large scale yagyas, where a priest also need to have his patni. Otherwise, for regular different kinds of yagyas, of course, the sannyasis cannot do these yagyas. The people in saffron cannot do these yagyas, but the brahmachari student, who is apparently is going to be a grahastha, can always do that. So therefore, it is wrong understanding that, oh, Krishna's devotee, Vishnu's devotees are always poor. That means you are cancelling Yudhishthira Maharaj as a Vishnu devotee. You are cancelling Amrish Maharaj as a Vishnu devotee. You are cancelling Dhananjay as Vishnu's devotee. You are cancelling Krishna Devaraya, one who wrote beautiful poems as Krishna's devotee. Great King Prataprudra was a devotee of Krishna. So therefore, one should not quote scripture out of context. It has to be quoted in context only.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there's a question, earning in the share market, is it gambling or is it business?
There is what do you call it as, it all depends upon, what is your idea of, now the purpose of investing in share market is to minimize hard work, enterprising, just deal with the number and try to make money as fast as possible. So in the bull market, I was talking to, our Anand Vrindavan Prabhu's son. He said in bull market, everybody makes money. But in the bear market, most people lose their money. Right? So there is no strategy proper. So therefore, whether it is share market or whether it is enterprising, are you using your brain or are you simply being ambitious to make fast buck? So the number of people losing will be much greater if you are not being smart and intelligent enough. So whatever business, it doesn't matter.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. There's a question by Lakshmikant ji. He says that we need to remove the Daridri consciousness and active efforts to come out of the poor condition. But what if after every effort one gets no success or makes it even worse? How should we rise above? What are your suggestions?
There is no possibility. There could be a time bound in a failure because of once timing is not correct. Just like we see, some people do not make into Indian cricket team. So repeated endeavor will not make them. Then they play for Ranji for some time. Then they are not able to move forward. So the point is, can you call it is not successful? Or somebody doesn't get into go to club cricket also. So they can sell sports equipments, or they can do something connected to that. Somebody does not become a doctor, but can be connected to the pharmaceutical industry by some means. So therefore, our success is not defined as our destination. I want to be a doctor. That is very dangerous. I want to be an engineer from IIT only. That is very dangerous. I want to have 10 crore rupees. That is very dangerous. I want to make money. I want to earn money. That is much larger in idea. I want to be a healer of people. That's much larger perspective. I want to be connected to be logically to kind of an engineering work, whether you get IIT or something else. So therefore, when you focus the journey, the destination is achieved. But if you focus the destination, when the destination is not reached, it gives rise to frustration. If a pravas महत्वपूर्ण है, प्रयास महत्वपूर्ण है, गंतव्य ये detail है basically. That is not basically essence. The pravas is having an essence of destination. Otherwise, there could be great distress and frustration.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. The journey is as important as the destination. Prabhuji, one last question is that, people who work or contribute or are connected to a higher purpose sometimes break laws of the land, and maybe they feel is justified because they are serving a higher purpose. What are your thoughts about this, Prabhuji?
No, so therefore, if you put your hand in the fire for good reason or bad reason, it still burns. Right? Very simple. If you put your hand in the fire, it will burn for whatever reason. So if you have the capacity to handle those karma, but the karma will come. No, there is no question of whether you sleep, you avoid sleeping for the higher cause, or you avoid sleeping for a lower cause. If you avoid sleeping, the consequences of lack of sleep is acidity, headache, migraine. So how can you, so therefore one has to be careful using this principle for a higher cause. Higher cause is not a regularity of your life. Higher cause is an emergency. And even if it is an emergency, one has to deal with the consequences of that activity. Therefore, it is explained very simply. The emergency is only connected to war field, or when somebody is about to die, or you have to save about somebody's life. It is question of life and death, literally life and death, not otherwise. Not otherwise. Only because it is life and death, then you have the choices of making certain exceptions in regards to rule. But that does not mean the consequences will not be there. What to speak of general reality.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, there are a few questions. Should we take or...
Take one question.
Okay, so there is... what is the right understanding of charity? How do we see that?
Other day, we will do one session with him, Radha Giridhari Prabhu, one who is IT and a businessman. As a student, he was going to college, then he became a businessman. He made a very interesting point. He says those are only conditioned to earn money. They are conditioned not to give money. The money doesn't come out of their hands. They will have some reason why not to give. So he said, I've learned one principle. Empower the potential wealthy people. And from very beginning, teach them the art of sharing with others. And when they are conditioned to earn and they are conditioned to share. What does it do? Their conditioning of earning doesn't stop. Their conditioning of sharing doesn't stop. If you earn big money, doesn't mean that they're going to stop. Because when they're earning 10,000 rupees, they give a few hundred rupees. If they're earning lakh rupees, they're giving few thousand rupees. And if they're earning crores of rupees, they will give you bigger money. because they have the conditioning. Otherwise, it is very difficult for those who do not have the conditioning to extend their hands to give. It doesn't happen automatically and abruptly. It's a culture, it's a growth.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So conditioning of earning, conditioning of giving, and also possibly conditioning of enjoying the wealth which you have created, because sometimes in the process of accumulating wealth, we do not learn to use the wealth for the right reasons. Yeah.
So therefore, Narad Muni said one should enjoy also one's wealth.
Mm.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We enjoyed your class very much. We're going to take a break for Kartik and Diwali. We wish everybody a very auspicious Diwali and the month of Kartik. And we will again meet on 15th of November. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.